freaking goodness, you are not gonna believe what happened today. I went driving, and I mean, I've been driving before, like, billions of times, but never, legally. So I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna go driving. So I rang up this man, and his man was called Howard, and Howard came to pick me up, and Howard is, a driving instructor. So I went, up a hill, and down a hill, and right and then left, and it was, amazing, and by this time, I was in, second gear, and I was like, whoa, and Howard was like, do you want to go up a gear? And I was like, baby, I want to go up a gear. So I went up a gear, and I was in, third gear, and I was kind of, 30 miles an hour, and I mean, I was going really quick by this point. And then, right, this boy on this, bike, drove towards me on my side of the road. Not his side of the road, my side of the road. So I was like, take it nice, take it nice. And then as he was here, I was like, boo! And he was, down. And I was like, awesome. And Howard was like, no! And I was like, yeah, Howard. Yeah. And Howard was like, oh my god, you gotta pull over. So he pulled over and the boy twitched. And everybody knows the rule. If they twitch, they're alive. And if they're alive, you can drive off. So we drove off and left that boy. And we were driving up a hill, down a hill, right and then left. And then Howard was like, seriously, you gotta pull over. But by this point, there was a sheep. And I was like, meh. And the sheep was like, meh. And I was like, no sheep. You do not say that to me. I mean, I could speak sheep, and what he said to me was, really rude. I could also speak Parseltongue, but there wasn't, a basilisk there, so that's not really necessary. So, the sheep was like, oh my god, I'm gonna cross the road, and I was like, meh, and the sheep was like, meh, and it was, really, really quite fraught for a minute, but it was okay, because I just drove through the sheep. The sheep died, but we didn't have to stop, because you don't have to stop a sheep, because sheep aren't people. So we were, driving, and we went up a hill, down a hill, and right and the left, and it was like, oh my god, and Howard was like, and I was like, shh. And Howard was like, and it was just amazing. And I went to Howard, oh my god, you make such a good pimp. And he was like, what's going on? And I was like, your eyebrows are the eyebrows of a pimp. I can do that if you want. So we were driving, and we went up and down, and right and left. And so I'm like, Howard, I'll do your eyebrows. So I let go of the wheel, because, I'm distracted. So I started doing Howard's eyebrows. And Howard is like, ow, what am I doing? I gotta drive this car. So I'm doing his eyebrows, he's driving, it's awesome. But then I pluck a really, really bad eyebrow, and basically, he kills this man. And I'm like, oh my god, Howard, you just killed a guy. Awesome, well done. Your eyebrows are looking awesome right now. And Howard is like, no. So I get the wheel, because Howard is a bit shook up by his experience, and I'm driving. And we're driving, it's really awesome, but by this time there's a police car behind us, and I'm like, oh my god, it's Grand Theft Auto, this is awesome. So the police car was like, pull over, and I was like, oh my god. And the police car was like, and I was like, which, you know what that means, right, don't you? It means petrol bomb, so I throw a petrol bomb, he obviously explodes. And I'm like, oh my god, why doesn't he even know the highway code? I mean, I know the highway code, petrol bomb. Simple. So then there's a helicopter, and I am like, oh my god, there's a helicopter. Am I on TV right now? And I'm like, Howard, take the wheel. And Howard is crying by this point, but it's awesome. So I get my RPG, and I'm like, boom, and I'm like, no, I need my rocket launcher. So I get that, and I'm like, boom, and the helicopter goes down, and it's all very, very fiery. And I am like, oh my god, I am on MTV right now. So I'm driving, and Howard is like, I gotta go. And I'm like, where are you going? And he bails out, and it's really quite dramatic. And I have never found Howard so attractive as in that minute. But I think he died. It was awesome, but awkward also. So I was driving up and down and right and left, and then there were these two helicopters, and I was like, no. And there were all these cars behind me, and I was like, oh my god, I am so on TV right now. So I was driving, and I am like, oh my god, I'm gonna call Tiffany. So I called Tiffany, I'm like, Tiffany, oh my god, turn on the TV. And I'm waiting and waiting and waiting, because she's in the kitchen, and she goes to the front room in her house, and she turns on TV, and she's like, oh my god, it's you. And I'm like, oh my god, it is. So we are driving, me and Tiffany, on the phone, obviously not in the car, because Howard was in the car, but he jumped out and died. So I'm talking to Tiffany, and Tiffany was like, oh my god, we gotta go for a manicure. And I am like, bitch, book it. I don't care how much it is, just book it. So I went up a hill and down a hill and right and then left, and I'm like, Tiffany, I gotta call you later. And then I go up this hill, and oh my god, you will not believe what the hill is. It's a cliff. So I'm going, oh, and I am flying by this point, and I'm like, I gotta talk to Tiffany. So I call Tiffany, and I'm like, oh my god, just, and she's like, oh my god, I so understand what you just said. You're on a cliff. And I was like, oh my god, I know. So I'm flying through the air, and this helicopter rises up. And I'm like, oh my god, it's a helicopter. So I jump out the car, get on my parachute. It's all fine. And I look up, and the helicopter explodes as it... Awesome times. Really awesome. The car and the helicopter. It was like the crescendo of my day. And I was like drifting down. I was like, yeah. Parachute. I was like, oh my god, is that a Starbucks? So I like land, take off the parachute, caramel macchiato, 2 please, 2 shots. I'm kind of excited right now. And I get my Starbucks. I go for my manicure. Good day. Good day. Good day.